all about the fight game. Great. We're back on the Morning Brew with friends, and I got my old friend John Nichols in this morning, and you brought Brooke DeFoya in with you this morning. This is great. And you are the Director of Housing and Life Skills at New Day.
Yes.
And what does that mean? When you can, housing, you just like give houses to people, or how does this work?
Well, we have two different housing programs.
Okay.
One is a shelter for young people 11 to 18, and the other is more long-term housing as transitional living for 17 to 22-year-olds.
All right.
So there's those two programs, and then we also have a Life Skills Academy, which is just teaching young people who are like between 16 and 22 those vital life skills that you don't always get when you've spent time living on the streets or been kind of having inconsistent housing. Right.
And New Day you guys really specialize in helping people who are younger than, what, 22, right?
Younger than 22, anybody from 11 to 22. We focus on adolescents.
Yeah, and it's a real need right now, isn't it?
It's a
I
big
mean,
need.
you drive around, especially downtown, and you can see there's a struggling homeless population. But how much of that homeless population is people who are young?
Well, Albuquerque Public Schools says there's over 7,000 young people in Albuquerque who experience homelessness on an annual basis.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you guys help?
We offer housing, temporary and long-term. We provide life skills. We also just build connections with young people. John does a lot of work with kind of connecting and giving young people a place so they can experience new things in Albuquerque, taking people out to dinner, and just giving young people opportunities to make connections and build relationships with adults and other people so they can succeed as they move forward.
Cool. Well, John, I know you work on the music front and you work on a lot of other ways to just connect people, right?
Right.
And how does that help? I know that, like, when I was 16, all I wanted to do was almost anything, you know, wanted to just do something so I wasn't bored sitting around.
Right.
Is that a big part of it and a big part of the services?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, Brooke and her staff do such a good job, but I think they're trying to keep these kids as busy as possible.
Right.
Because I think idle time for any teens, but I think especially our kids, is probably not the best. But yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel fortunate. I get to go in and, you know, I take them out to shows and movies and performances, and I mean, you name it. So for me, it's just, I'm just trying to show these kids it's a big world out there, and there's a lot of stuff that I try to expose them to that they might not have been exposed to before.
Right. And there is a youth crisis shelter, which is a safe home for how many people use that every year?
Anywhere from 200 to 300, just depends on the year.
Wow. And what kinds of people end up at that shelter?
These are all the young people from 11 to 18. So it's young people who are experiencing homelessness. They're actually out on the streets or maybe couch surfing. There's also young people who are in protective service and there's just not a place for them. There's also young people who have been in the juvenile justice system and they're coming out of a detention environment and they just don't have a safe place to go.
Like, I can't imagine being, 20 years old and not knowing anything, because if you've been in the juvenile justice system for, say, 5 years and you're 20 now, you get out, you don't even know what a smartphone is.
Yeah, you don't have connections with the community. You don't know, I mean, there's so many basic things that young people miss. We've been able to support some young people who've entered our shelter, help them transition into their Life Skills Academy, which is a program that serves all young people in the community, and then also our Transitional Living House, which creates that's individual apartments within the community, and we also have a building as well. And we support young people there from anywhere from 6 to 18 months. And so we've been able to create a continuum where we really are supporting young people as they move towards independence.
So what do you guys teach at the Life Skills Academy?
Oh, all kinds of things. Financial literacy.
That sounds like the fun place to be, is the Life Skills Academy, right?
Yeah, it is. There's financial literacy, there's budgeting, there's cooking classes. We have a full culinary arts kitchen.
Cool.
We have, healthy living, learning how to have relationships, all kinds of things. Just, it's an exciting place to be.
Excellent. And John, there's a big show coming up that is going to support a lot of this work, right?
Yes, sir. December 18th, which is Friday, at the Sunshine Theater.
There's the poster of it right there.
Yeah, so this
Friday
is,
and Saturday.
Yeah, so this is the 4th annual show we've done in Albuquerque, and then actually Saturday night's going to be up in Denver. But I basically put together a bunch of musicians from all over the country come into town for one evening, actually this year 2 evenings, and just put on a great show, to raise money for our cause. And we also have 5 local musicians included. So I've got out-of-towners and locals.
Great. Our buddies the Knobs playing?
Kevin Cummings from the Knobs, the lead guitarist from the Knobs, he's in the jam.
I love that. He had them on the show a while back, and it was so
nice.
much fun to see the Knobs. They're just such phenomenal musicians. All those guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys need right now? You know, going into the holidays, I imagine, has got to be a real tough time. It's got to be one of those times of need, and one of those times, too, when people are thinking about things to donate, right?
Absolutely.
So what are you guys looking for right now?
Well, through our Life Skills Academy, we actually have a food pantry. So we welcome food donations and just things like warm winter things, coats, hats, gloves. We can always use those kinds of things no matter the time of year.
Right, I'm sure. And is money that kind of stuff too, or is that?
Of course.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
We will take
financial
cash donation anytime. It's a lot. I mean, 24-hour care is very expensive. So keeping places open where you have staff there to make sure that everything's okay. You have many young people coming in and out. It's an expensive thing to do. So we appreciate anybody who can support us in any way possible.
Right. So how many of the students and how many people that you guys work with stay in Albuquerque? Do they once you kind of get them on their feet, do they stick around? Do they move on? Like, what happens?
A lot of times they do. We actually have a young person who's recently graduated from our transitional living program. He started in the shelter, moved into the transitional living program, actually worked with John on a few projects, got a job locally, and is working on his own music and working at a local store and just living a life.
So good.
Yeah, living a
I
life.
just saw him the other day.
That's kind of the ideal path for somebody,
Sure.
right? How often do you get to see that ideal path?
Well, you know, we're above the national average. The national average around transitional living is they say only about 30% of young people will actually succeed. We're higher than that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we get to see a fair amount of success, which is really exciting. And success looks different for every young person.
Right.
But most
for
of
some
the time,
it's a job, for some it's school, for some it's
Sure.
living on their own in one way or another.
yeah, some it's just being able to be able to draw boundaries with young people, other people who maybe pull them down. For some, I mean, success looks a lot of different ways, and we're really excited when we can be part of it.
Very cool. And so the show is December 18th.
Yeah, and the tickets are $15, which is, you know, affordable. You can go to holdmyticket.com and get your tickets there. There'll be opportunities the night of the show to also donate money towards our cause. So
Great.
but come out. It's an amazing night of music.
And a great room, too, at the Sunshine Theater, which is my favorite
for
place
sure.
to see a good show. We'll be back in a couple of seconds. We got our buddies from the Downs Casino in. We'll find out what they're doing for New Year's Eve on the Morning Brew with Friends.
Ding dong, ding dong, Christmas bells are ringing.